Habakkuk 2 verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to those like men that scattered abroad, pushing this truth with all sincerity. And also shalom to your very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. I'm your brother One, coming to the video low when it's edifying and to the point. Right, and what we're doing right now in this lesson is containing what this MOTB, right? This we were watching the prelude, the beginning stages, right? We're watching the gradualism at its best, going from the digital ID, right, to the MOTB, right? We're watching, seeing these key things, right? It says new digital ID will be mandatory to work in the UK, right? We've been warning you about these things. We've been warning you that you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade unless you have the requirements, right? that they will be coming out with, right? And this right here is a BBC.com, article, right? And fair use. Definitely want to play this clip. Fair use, YouTube. Just want to bring this out. But before I bring it out, I want to just say, back in the book of Habakkuk 2 and 3, it said, for the vision yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, right? Because the one thing about it, excuse me, right, this vision was, being mocked at, scoffed at, right? Not the digital ID, but the MOTB, that small grain of rice, the charagma. People been, talking down upon it, saying that won't happen, right? Now we in a time period where you're seeing it more so than ever. You're seeing the gradualism, taking big steps. For them to come out with this right here, the digital ID will be mandatory and to work in the UK. Hey, that's pretty much showing you real soon you will have to have a certain requirement to work. Right now they're putting the digital ID, right, and they're going to use this whole immigration thing to help move on or move it. Right, but we already know the end all be all, right? Like it states in the book of 2 Corinthians 2 and 11, right? Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, right? So we're not ignorant to the schemes that he's coming out with, right? But that's a part of his device. Excuse me. So it says, for the visions yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, right? Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, right? And we're seeing it come more so than ever. It's not going to delay, right? I'm going to play some of this right here, read some of this, and grab some more scripture, and that'll be that, right?
For too many years, it's been too easy for people to come here, slip into the shadow economy, and remain here illegally. Because, frankly, we've been squeamish about saying things that are clearly true. It's not just that it's not compassionate left-wing politics to rely on labour that exploits foreign workers and undercuts fair wages, but the simple fact that every nation needs to have control over its borders. We do need to know who is in.
And that's heavy right there, right? He said every nation should have control. Right, and that also, right, if you can understand where I'm coming from, that also just a cut to, that Captain Tazariak, man, saying how the other nations not going to be on the same wave now. No, man, this is going to be a worldwide thing. This is going to be the new, it's in the name. NWO, New World, is in the name, man. Right, end of the day, it's all about that. What Psalms was it? Psalms 82 or Psalms 83, going into the consent. Right, keeping the children of Israel down, right? So yes, they all look. These nations don't like each other, but hey, they like each other enough to keep us down, up under them. So this right here is gonna be a new thing, right? And it's gonna migrate its way to America, But hey, the Lord is showing you, He's showing you these things, right? The foreshadows before it even hit America. Man, once they hit America, it's on. You know, see, these other nations, they're more of a one band, one sound. See, it's so much confusion inside America, which is called Babylon. Right, and Babylon just mean confusion, right? Bitter, you know. So once it gets here, hey, it's definitely going to be on, man. Right, let me play some more of this.
In our country, our immigration system does need to be fair if we want to maintain that binding contract that our politics is built on. Otherwise, it undermines trust, undermines people's faith that we're on their side, and their belief that the state can and will work for them. And that is why today I am announcing this government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID. It's as simple as that.
All right, so there you have it. The last couple of words was, hey, standing on business. You know, we know you're going to come with those draconian measures, those draconian laws, right? But like you said, if you do not have a digital ID, you will not be able to work. Simple as that, right? And this is paralleling up to what the Revelation 13, verse 16, right? The digital ID will have the same benefits, some of the same, you know, structures, the benefits that the chip will, but, you know, the seed are going to have more, right? And also that's going to be the test to where if you insert that inside you, you will not be able to take that out, right? You agree to take it, and you put that in, inject that inside you, hey, you will be, you know, handled by the Yahweh Shem Shah. You know, you pretty much letting Yahweh Shah know that you won't smoke. You know, because the Lord is coming up back to smite, and He's definitely coming to smite the ones that bow to the system. You know, so let's get that word for mandatory. Just look that up. Right, required by law. This is the rule. These are the new rules that are being set. Right, and it's gonna you know, like I said, move over to having that CHIP, right? But they have to get the people accustomed, you know, used to, like how it was in 2020, man. You know, you gotta set laws in order, and the people gonna eventually, you know, tired of fighting against it, you know, and that's what they know. So the people gonna, you know what, fuck it, I gotta go to the store, I gotta go to Whole Foods, you know, I gotta go to work. You know, these people can't see themselves falling off the grid because of the system that's coming abroad, right? So it says digital ID will be mandatory. Matter of fact, it says Keir Starmer confirms plans for a new digital ID scheme. See, and when you read this inside the NLT of 2 Corinthians 2:11, it tells you that we're not ignorant of Satan's schemes, man. Right? Because what it is, schemes, plots, and plans. Right? And we know that these devils ain't fucking for the people. Right? They got an agenda that they gotta fulfill. Right? Scripture says, let's grab this right quick. Salakia. Revelation 12:12, just to help my point. It says, Revelation 12:12, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devils come down to you having great wrath, because you know that ye have but a short time, right? Because at the end of the day, they know that sand glass is ticking, it's running out, you know. So they putting things in order, motion, right? We talk about the 2030 agenda. You know, they got to get a roll, man. They want to have things up and pumping, right? So it says digital ID will be mandatory in order to work in the UK as part of plan to tackle illegal migration, right? And that's the pitch, man, right? That's the pitch they're going to use it as. They've been doing it. They've been having migrants inside their damn countries, man. But, you know, but they have to, like, have you seen how the movie was, the First Purge? They had to pretty much bring in, you know, chaos, confusion, so they can help get things on the roll. You know, same thing with America, man. I know y'all remember back then they was talking about how, you know, that migrant, and he was like, hey, man, you ain't gonna know who I am right now, but soon come you will know who I am. You know, it's a lot of migrants over here, so it's not far-fetched that it will push the same pitch over here. It says, Sir Keir Starmer said the new digital ID scheme would make it tougher to work in the UK illegally and offer countless benefits to citizens, while his senior minister Darren Jones said it could be the bedrock of the modern state. Right, and you know, they throwing out the new way of living and bringing it in with this way of living, which would require you to have the MOTB, right? 'Cause this is just the midway point. You know, going from money, digital ID, then boom, having that chip, right? But yeah, it says UK illegally and offer. It's making it tougher to work in the UK illegally. And they're gonna do the same thing now. And also, you know, we all scriptures speak about how, you know, Esau wants to be like the Most High. So he's trying to push it to where he can keep track on you at all times, man. Turn off your chip, you know. I think they're doing like something like that in Sweden and China. You know, can pretty much turn your social credit score down if you're not doing certain things how they want you to do it, right? It says, however, opposition parties argue the proposals will not stop people crossing the channel in small boats. Yeah, most definitely. They ain't gonna slow nothing down, because that's what they trying to find. They are gonna try to find like a little loophole, you know. But it says the Prime Minister set out his plans in a broader speech to a gathering of world leaders, in which he said it had been too easy for people to work illegally in the UK because the centre left had been squeamish about saying things that were clearly true. Right. So it's a lot more in here, but right, man, we know where it's going. You know, I definitely, you know, recommend, you know, reading it on, you know, when you get the chance to. But yes, it's definitely coming down the pipeline. We're seeing a foreshadow really about what's going to happen throughout the whole earth, you know. So let's get that scripture in the book. Matter of fact, we'll just go over and get straight to it. And see, my blue letter is messing up. I tried to go to it earlier. Let me see if it'll let me go to it. Okay, Khan. Call all you how about Shemel Shah. At first, it was only showing me 2 verses. This definitely helped me out. Okay. I'm going to start at Revelation 13 and 15, right? Because we know this is where it's coming down to, right? Like I said, they coming with they want requirements, right? Mandatory. These are going to be the new rules. Either you're going to get left or you're going to get right. It says he was then permitted to give life to the statue so that it could speak. Then the statue of the beast commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die, right? And we know, like I said, this digital ID is not the MOTB, right? Say it again, the MOTB is not the digital ID, but it is prelude, it is gradualism. It is showing you the small steps before you get to that major platform, right? Which will be that charagma, right? But like the man already just said, if you it's mandatory. So if you don't have it, you won't be able to work, right? And if you can't see, this is not the beginning stages of the MOTB, and the MOTB is that chip. You're just not gonna have it. You're just not gonna understand, you know. Because think about it, Esau has to show his plans, you know. He props on the left hand side. He show you through all his movies, songs, you know. Right? And it said, you know, if you refuse to worship, you know, if you refuse to worship it, you must die. Right? We know it's gonna be a 2-folded word type of kill. You know, because some you gonna be dead to the system because you don't have the requirements. And also, when it gets further down the line, right, those draconian laws, right, if you don't have it and you inside a concentration camp, tell them folks no. Hey, they might just offer you right then and there. They're gonna behead you. You know, yeah, they may got them come to your house with it and ask you to take it. If you say no, they may just leave you slumped where you at. You know, so this definitely come to a time of understanding being a martyr for the truth, and also, standing firm for the name, standing firm for the testimony. You know, because Esau's finna come down with great wrath because you know that he had with a short time. Right, verse 16, it says, he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. Right? And one thing, like I said earlier, you know, I don't know if I finished it, it's like your brain kind of cooked. But this is how we know that we getting real close, because he said he required everyone. And it's like I had just had it down. Anyway, I'm gonna reread it. Lost my train of thought. I'm gonna keep going. It says he required everyone, small and great, rich and poor, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. Right. So like I said, you know, this charagma will be the final destination of this scripture, right? This prophecy. But right now they're giving you the beginning. They're showing you that, hey, without this digital ID, you can't work, right? Like we always speak about how it was in 2020. You didn't have that mask on. You couldn't get access to go inside of a store. Couldn't get your hair cut. You know. That's how you know strict that policy was, man. And it's gonna get even more stricter, you know. But he said he required everyone, and that's what they're doing inside the UK right now. This is the requirement. This is the new requirement for you to have a digital ID. So therefore, if you want a job, show me a digital ID. Right? Soon come, you want to buy, sell, and trade, show me your charagma. You know what? Scan it. Or them folk might want to scan you. You know? It says, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark. See? This is really parallel. This is definitely close to the charagma, digital ID. You couldn't buy or sell. You couldn't work without having it. So soon come, right? It'll be at your doorstep. It says which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. Right, so that was just the main thing of this whole lesson, right? Which we always go into, you know, Revelation 13 and 16 with that word mark. Used to always bring it out. Which mark in the Greek is charagma, you know. Which you go to the root word of charagma, which will give you charax, and the root word of charax would be grapho, you know. And this is the main thing because they're moving everything digitally, you know. They want everything digitalized. Matter of fact, this is the last month that I can pay rent with what's the little things when you go to Publix and stuff. I think Western Union, I can't remember, but yeah, they said they're going paperless. They said from here on out we're going paperless. You have to do everything pretty much on the computer, phone, you know, digitally. You're not taking no more paper. Right? So yeah, this is where the world is running to, man. But it says for grapho, just to commit to writing things not to be forgotten, write down, record, or record. You know, you record these things. Everything will be your digital ID. That's how they're trying to move from here on out, right? You just seen later. Well, I don't know if you've seen, but you know, did a quick lesson on how they're trying to replace smartphones, man. They want to pretty much put them in your hand. Right? All of these things are leading to the MOTB. So if you don't have it, if you don't see it, right, the Lord has blinded you. right? But just definitely down the line, you know, the Lord told us to be on our watch, right? How like it states in the book of Habakkuk 2:1, right? But that's best believe, you know, this prophecy is definitely coming down the pipeline, and definitely have yourself in the spirit to go against it and not take it, you know. Definitely be ready to be in positions that's uncomfortable. You know, be ready to lose your job behind it. Be ready to go off grid behind it. Be ready to lose your life behind it. So Ezekiel 33:33, and when this cometh to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them, right? So you have been warned. This major prophecy is coming down the pipeline, whether you believe it or not, you know. So with that being said, I'm going to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, Shem Kakadash. Shalom.